others. Heather and Ty.
All right, Christina Saffo, thank you so much. Well, it is Memorial Day. That means it is a day to reflect on the men and women who serve our country and how much they have done for securing our freedom. Joining us this morning from Staten Island is a congressman who knows a thing or two about serving in the military. Congressman Michael Grimm. He left college after his freshman year, enlisted in the Marines, fought in the Gulf War. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. And let me start out by saying thank you for your service to our country.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
All right, let me start out by asking you, how do you want civilians to think about Memorial Day?
Well, first and foremost, I think there's a lot to be said about Memorial Day, but obviously we have to honor our fallen heroes, and we have to remember that they have made the ultimate sacrifice for each and every one of us to have the opportunities and the liberties and freedoms that we have. The other thing is to impress upon them that freedom isn't free. You know, we have young men and women all over the globe, and we spend a lot of treasure and blood to spread liberty and freedom, and that's part of American exceptionalism. We're all over the world, so many men and women in uniform, and they're not conquering lands or increasing our holdings. They're there merely to allow others to enjoy some of the liberties and freedoms that we have, and that just makes me so proud to be American. Obviously, I'm a United States Marine, so I'm naturally so proud of our military, but it really is amazing to have the opportunities that we have and to just be part of the greatest country in the world. And today's a day to remember that it is fragile and we can lose it, and it's very expensive. So when you see a man or a woman in uniform walking down the street, simply say thank you, tell them welcome home, and remember, we're in the greatest country in the world, and there are so many people around the world that are trying to get here every single day.
Certainly. And Congressman, based on your experiences, does it really mean a lot to those men and women in uniform when you walk up to them and say, just, hey, thanks for what you're doing?
Oh, it absolutely does. It makes the world a difference. You know, you got to remember, some of these men and women are 17, 18, 19 years old. They're so young, but yet they've been given so much responsibility, and they've been through so much. And many of them have been away from their families. They haven't seen their children born. So when you come up and you tell them how much you appreciate them, it means the world. So I would encourage everyone to do that. And by the way, I'm wearing FDNY today. That's just a subtle reminder to our mayor. Please don't close our fire companies.
Okay, well, we'll get to that issue another day. Certainly a lot of folks talking about that. I want to ask you about this. You recently returned from Iraq, Afghanistan, and Kuwait, where you had an opportunity to visit with some of our men and women in uniform. How are things going over there? What do they have to say to you?
Oh, let me tell you, it's been almost 20 years since I served, and I was blown away. Our military is just, it's awesome. I mean, that's the only way I can describe it. They are operating at levels that I never even imagined 20 years ago.
And by that, do you mean just the back-to-back deployments that we're talking about? What is asked of these men and women?
It's even beyond that. Yes, they have been stretched to the maximum, and they are operating on very high stress levels. But more than that, they're doing things that just we didn't even imagine. The humanitarian effort alone, they are teaching the Afghans how to read and write. It's just incredible. Things that they would not train traditionally to do. You know, soldiers are trained for traditional warfare. They are doing humanitarian efforts above and beyond what their training is, and they are really stepping up, making America so, so proud. They're just incredible.
Well, we're really doing nation building in particular in that country of Afghanistan. So let me ask you about Afghanistan. The president plans to reduce our troop levels. They're beginning this July with the goal of completely handing things over to Afghanistan by the year 2014. But it has become increasingly dangerous in that country. Is it a good idea to start drawing down our troops there?
Well, it depends what the goal is, and that's why this is such a complex matter. The simple reality is that we are building a nation there, and there is so much more work to be done. Based on what I saw, the Afghan troops, they are learning, but they have a long way to go. So I don't think that they are ready yet to take over. We are just now in Iraq reaching that point where we can turn over the training to the Iraqis, so you have Iraqis training Iraqis, but we are not even close to that in Afghanistan. So I think that it's something that the president really needs to look at, and we also have to keep in mind everything that's going on in the Middle East. I mean, there are certainly some issues there that cause me great concern with what's going on in Egypt, and I think that those need to be addressed as well, and it does all come together. So they're not isolated things with Afghanistan, Iraq, Egypt. It all comes together, and we have to look at everything as one piece of a larger puzzle, and I just hope that the president is looking at everything and understands that these are very, very complex issues that will not be resolved overnight.
Congressman, we got to wrap it up, but one quick question before I let you go. The president is going to announce the new chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff today. His name is, he's an Army General. Martin Dempsey is his name. How do you see things changing with the war mission if he does get approved by the Senate?
Actually, I don't think that we're going to see much change at all. I think that General Petraeus has done an absolute amazing job, has laid out a tremendous plan, and I think that that plan, by almost everyone I've spoken to, is a very, very good, strong plan. So I think that he'll continue on that path and work with our other commanding generals to get us to the finish line.
All right, Congressman, we're going to have to leave it there. Congressman Michael Grimm, he served as a Marine, once a Marine, always a Marine. Sir, thank you so much. Also, a big parade today taking place in Staten Island at noon today, so everybody check it out if you can.
Thank you, Heather. We'll still ahead on Good Day New York.